Yay, here we go. Hey guys. Hello Irina. Hello George Sand. Good evening. So, we were on money before the weekend. And then for the weekend, nobody was studying. Hello Cassia. So, here we are. Last week, we had a few classes on, or a few lives on money vocabulary. And we saw, let me see, long time no see. Oh, George Sand. We saw rent versus hire, right? Somebody said today, TGP said to me today, oh yeah, somebody said, be careful with this one, guys, because literally today, I heard this. I heard he could contract someone if he wanted to. And for me, it sounded strange. It sounded strange to say this. I think it's better to use hire here. I think it's better to use hire. It was about painting his house. Somebody said, this guy paints his house by himself, but he could just hire someone to do it. But she said he could just contract someone to do it. So it sounded a little bit strange. Hello, Saska. So yeah, that came up today actually. Yeah, if you're getting a person to paint your house or whatever, I would say hire someone. Especially if it's temporary, because if you contract someone, it's kind of like a permanent situation. Yeah, and we just say hire. It's more normal, So we saw that. Oh, we discussed as well that between hire and rent, there's kind of a British English, American English type of thing. Then we saw earn versus make, we spoke about, and it's different to win. We said earn a salary, earn a wage, earn interest, earn commission, earn a bonus. Whereas it would be make money, make a profit, make a loss, make a fortune, make financial gain. Hey Cassia. Hello Alvin. Cassia, I want to continue with money vocabulary. This is my aim for today. We spoke about lend versus borrow. So we said lend to, borrow from. So we spoke about borrow. These guys, if they're all on YouTube now, guys, if you haven't, back versus to repay. Somebody brought up again, getting revenge is also payback. Right? And we spoke about selling yourself, for example, in an interview. We spoke about paying in cash, but then you pay by phone, by card, by check, by bank transfer, by debit card. But pay in cash. We don't say you pay by cash. Make loss means losing money, yes. Make fortune means to make a lot of money. Exactly. That's it. That's right, Alvin, yeah. We spoke about the meaning of afford to. We spoke about be short of money when you don't have enough. We spoke about to make ends meet. We spoke about you take out a loan versus getting a loan. Hello, Amel. You're welcome. We spoke about that. We spoke about raising money. Okay, if you want investment, like for a startup or for a charity. We spoke about allowance. So in British English, we use a lot pocket money. And in America, they use allowance. Or if you're in business, you have a daily allowance. On Shark Tank, yeah, they have an allowance. Yeah. Make a fortune, Alvin, that's right. Okay, then we had at no cost. So it means it's free of charge. Okay, at no extra cost, at no additional cost. We spoke about saving time and saving money. We spoke about having money to burn. We said rolling in money. We spoke about to splash out, to splurge on something. No extra cost is the gym, I think. I see this. Yeah? You saw that, Alvin, at no extra cost? So maybe they can say you can use the sauna at the gym at no extra cost. So if you join the gym to go to the gym classes, or maybe they could say you can go to yoga class at no extra cost in the gym. We spoke about making a quick buck. So a buck is a synonym for $1. So $5 just means $5, right? And then we were debating if money can buy happiness or not. We were speaking about that. Alvin, Yes, this is it. The exercise bike inclusive in the price. Yeah, that's it. So you get the exercise bike at no extra cost. That's it. Then we spoke about put your money where your mouth is as well. We spoke about a lot of things. Okay, and we were speaking about money doesn't grow on trees. Very typical parents say. Georgetown, $5 per hour, so miserable. Well, I guess it depends on the country. Guys, did you hear what happened in Ceuta at the weekend? One of the guys who came, I was listening to an interview, and he says in Morocco, he's earning 10 euros per day, you know? So for him, $5 an hour would be quite a lot, wouldn't it? And then we left it at hard cash. So hard cash was the next one. Okay, so hard cash simply means physical money, okay? In the form of banknotes and coins, especially when someone wants immediate payment, drugs, rather than a check or electronic transfer. Okay? You like this topic, Irina? Hello, Bagel. You failed your B2 by 1 point. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Bagel. It can happen. This can happen. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's such a pity now. Oh, well, at least you know if you study a little bit more, you're very close. But 1 point is so annoying. That's infuriating, really, isn't it? It's really a pain. Maybe 50 years ago, you could have given the examiner some hard cash and they could have passed you for 1 point. But nowadays, no. Unfortunately. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, so the hard cash means physical money, okay? For example, the seller insisted on hard cash rather than a bank transfer. I remember, guys, when I bought my first car in Spain, the seller offered me a discount if I paid some of the money in hard cash. So, yeah, I did. I shouldn't say that probably. I took him up on that offer and I paid some of the price in cash, in hard cash, in banknotes. Hello, Alexander. And I got a nice discount. Okay, some small businesses still prefer customers to pay in hard cash. Guys, where I live, there are some small restaurants and cafes, and you can only pay in cash, hard cash. You can't pay by card. I like it. I like it. And what about you guys? Cash is king. Yay, Lamai! There you are. I love that one. It's true. Cash is king. Yeah. I like to have a bit of cash. Hey guys, I just before running, I've put like some hard cash in my phone. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, it's always good to have some cash on you. So why do we say hard cash and not hard coins? Thanks, Alexander. Hello, Guerrera. What's up? You woke up very late today, I think. I was up several hours before you woke up. Okay, so the adjective hard originally contrasted with credit rather than with coins. Hard cash referred to money that physically existed and could be handed over immediately. There's a really nice phrasal verb for you guys. Handed over immediately, unlike promises to pay later, checks or credit. The emphasis is therefore on certainty and immediate payment, not on the material the money is made from. Today, even though many people rarely carry cash, the expression remains common, especially when contrasting cash with electronic payments. Okay, Saska, hard cash is always in my phone with me. Yeah, I know, some hard cash. You carry some hard cash, Saska. Hello, Lamai. Because cash is more important than coins. Well, no, coins are also cash, Amel. Hard cash doesn't have to be only the paper. It's also the coins, but it's physical money. that exists. Gerard, the way the first thing I saw when I woke up was your messages. Lamai, the IOU, yeah, exactly. I was gonna write that. Look, I was gonna write it here, Lamai. IOU. Yeah, I'll give you an IOU. Exactly. IOUs. Okay. Now, next one is to pay through the nose. We also say to pay an arm and a leg for. In Spanish, they say to pay one eye from your face. What about you guys? Do you have any expressions like this? Keep cash in case of blackout. George Sand, yes! You need to keep cash in case of a blackout. We should have learned this. Do you know, George Sand, we had a blackout in Spain last year. I wasn't here. Luckily, I was in a different country when there was the blackout. But there was a blackout. Las Perlas de la Virgen. What? La Maya, I don't get it. Las Perlas de la Virgen, I don't understand. Somebody explain that one to me. We say often keep some cash on you in case of a blackout. That's really smart. It's really, really smart. And we say on you. That means not in the bank. It means literally on your person, in your pocket, in your wallet with you, on you. Keep some cash on you in case of a blackout. Exactly. Only one, and last year you were lucky. Oh, sorry, George Sand. Yeah. Okay, you have more, right? At the moment. Yeah, it was only one. It's another expression. Las Perlas de la Virgen. Does that mean cuesta las perlas de la Virgen, no? It costs exactly, Amel, it costs with S. To cost a fortune. Well, yeah, okay, it is. To cost a fortune, or it costs a fortune. Brilliant, well done. I have to look up this one. Las perlas de la Virgen. I didn't know that one. That's really cool. I'm going to put it in pink to remind myself to check that later. So, if you pay through the nose, you pay far more than something is really worth. Your wallet is the best friend, yeah? Your wallet is your best friend. Okay, so, for example here, tourists often pay through the nose for food in the airport, yeah. I get so hungry at the airport, like, it's not uncommon for me to end up spending, I bring snacks, but then at the airport I get so hungry. I don't know if it's the airport air or whatever. I think the last time I spent 30 or 40 euros on rubbish in the airport. It means asks too much, asking for something difficult to get. Las perlas de la Virgen. Yes, okay, awesome. Very cool, thank you. For example, a brand bag. Exactly, Irina, yeah. You paid through the nose for brands. You certainly do. Yeah, you pay through the nose for some brands. Absolutely. Another example, we had no choice but to pay through the nose because it was the middle of the holiday season. Yeah, exactly. Saska, everything in her house costs a small fortune because everything is treated as singular. Well done. Everything in her house costs a fortune. Brilliant. Yeah, really, really good. I love that example. Okay, so where does it come from? The exact origin is debated, but the most widely accepted explanation dates back to Viking rule in Ireland during the 9th and 10th centuries. According to historical accounts, people who failed to pay certain taxes could be punished by having their noses mutilated. Whether every detail of the story is true remains uncertain, but the expression became associated with paying an extremely heavy price. Today, nobody associates the phrase with physical punishment. It simply means paying an excessive amount of money. Okay? Amel, yes, especially nowadays, everything costs, good job, a fortune. Good job. I went to the fruit and vegetable shop today. Okay, it's the nicest one in my village. I bought some sweet potato, 2 avocados, some broccoli, some carrots, and some peaches. Okay, maybe it was a bit. And 20 euros. 20 euros! What? Yeah, everything does seem to cost a fortune. But in fairness, this stuff is really nice quality. It's probably better than the supermarket, you know. Anyway, depends on my mood how much I'm willing to pay for fruit and vegetables. Okay, next one is pay your own way. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, man, it was crazy. We need to be filthy rich. We do. Everybody needs to be friends with George Sand. Okay, say nice things to George Sand, and yeah, and he can help us out. These are filthy rich. We need to be filthy rich. Okay, so pay your own way. What does this mean? To pay your own way means to pay for yourself without relying on other people financially. Okay? Now, I'd like to point out here, when you have the preposition without, the following verb, you should use ing. Without relying, without going, without taking, without having, always. Yeah. What do you guys think? Like, for me, the way I was brought up in Ireland, and I think by my family, it was very important, like, to pay your way. No sugar mommy or daddy. Exactly, Guerrera, that's it. Independent person, yeah. You know, so it's like if your friend decides to drive to the place, the hiking trip area, and maybe the drive is 1 hour. Okay, if the drive is 10 minutes, no. But if the drive is 1 hour or 2 hours, like, it would be pretty common to give your friend some petrol money. No, you give them 10 euros, or it's okay, Guerrera. You give them 10 euros or something because you want to pay for your part, you know? Or if you go to a restaurant and your friend pays, you give them the money that you know is equivalent to you. So you're paying for the things that you are consuming, you're paying for your part, you know? One interesting debate, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in countries like Poland, Moldova, Russia, I think, Ukraine, I don't know, I think no, maybe depends on the area, that the guy, if you go to dinner, like a guy and a girl, and it's romantic, that the guy will always pay, for example. Whereas nowadays, with feminism and all this stuff, girls like to pay their own way. So, like, maybe one day the guy will pay, one day the girl will pay, or apparently if you're in Germany, like, they will divide the bill, like, exactly to the cent consumed, and the other person will pay exactly what they consumed, even in a romantic situation. What do you guys think? Do you think the guy should... Okay, George Sand, you have a fleet of ships and you're saying split the bill. Oh my god. George Sand, I thought you would be the first one to say I'll foot the bill. No? Oh my gosh, Irina. What do you guys think? I don't know. No judgment here, eh? I still haven't decided what I think. I generally try to pay my way, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the guy should pay, the girl should pay? Should we split the bill like George Sand is saying? George Sand, this is why you have a fleet of ships, because you've been splitting the bill all the time. Hey? No, I don't agree with. Okay, men should pay, especially for the first date. Okay, Amel, okay. So men should pay, you're saying definitely for the first date, okay. Okay, I usually invite, but I prefer to talk so the other person doesn't feel uncomfortable. But I prefer to talk so the other person doesn't... The other, not another. So the other person doesn't feel uncomfortable. Well, yeah, claro. Invite in English means that it was your idea, but it doesn't mean you pay. Yeah, because in Spanish, invitar means that you pay, but in English, no. So you'd have to say, I usually pay. Cassia, it depends if he cares more. Oh, Cassia is so cute. Yeah. Hello, Mardan. Get a nice time. That's no, my pleasure. They're two easy things with the little invite, the other and another. Because if it's singular, it should be, okay, yeah, that's a tricky one, Clara. The another. Yeah, because normally another, but it's the other person. Yeah, that's a really tricky one, actually. It's my treat, Lamai. So nice. Una flor de mi jardín. Oh, I didn't know that one. I never heard that one. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a fun topic. This would be a good one for a debate. Shall I put this down here for... We'll make a debate about this one day. I think that would be a nice one to talk about. Cassia, but if girls insist she can pay also. Yeah, you think so? It's interesting. Okay. So, for example, even while studying at university, she insisted on paying her own way. So, yeah, insist on. Okay, she insisted on paying her own way. Another example, everyone on the trip agreed to pay their own way rather than split every expense equally. So, this means that you pay for what you consume. I have another question, guys. If you go for dinner with, imagine, 5 people, and you have like a bottle of water and a salad, so maybe your total is like 12 euros, and your friends have like steak, beer, dessert, maybe they each consume 30 or 40 euros of food. Do you think you should split the bill? Or I think the other term is go Dutch. You pay for what you ate and they pay for what they ate. What do you guys think? That's another good question, I think. I think that, yeah, go Dutch is when you just pay like exactly what you had. It's possible only for your food, Cassia. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Depending on the groups, they have different philosophies about this. So the expression can also describe someone who is financially independent throughout life. Where does it come from? The phrase developed during the 19th century when travel became increasingly common. Travelers were expected to cover their own accommodation, transport, and meals instead of depending on companies or hosts. Over time, the expression came to represent financial independence in today. Describing someone as able to pay their own way is usually considered a compliment because it suggests responsibility and self-sufficiency. Okay? We already slipped between us. Split, is it, Amel? Split? We already split. We usually split between us, no? Equal portions. Is it, Amel? George-san, in this case, your friends must pay for your water. Yeah, but I have to pay for their copious amounts of beer, for example. Okay. It's okay, Amel. It's okay. So, next one. Throw money down the drain. Do you guys know what drain is? Where can we find a drain? Apparently the weather is really hot in Poland and stuff. Alcantarilla, exactly, Guerrera, yeah. So it's like in the bath, the hole where the water goes out, this is the drain. Or in the sink when you're washing your hands, the water goes out the drain. Okay? Like pipes and stuff, but it's called a drain. So throwing money down the drain, it means that you're wasting money. Exactly, Saska, for water to go out, yeah, is the drain. So when you throw money down the drain, it means that the money is going down the drain like water. This expression means to waste money on something that brings little or no value. And when it's not water, yeah, it's the same. We can use the same expression. Yeah. If you have a car, for example, you buy, in my opinion, this is another debatable topic, but I think I would never buy a brand new car because the minute you drive out of the dealership, you lose, depending on the car, you lose thousands of euros, you know? I would buy like, I don't know, a car, okay, with 10,000, 20,000 kilometers, you know? Because for me, it's just throwing money down the drain to buy a brand new car. I think it's not an investment, is it? But I think it's a real waste of money. Waste, meaningless, yes. Irina, the thing is where I grew up, it didn't acceptable that women must pay for something if she has. Yes, Irina, exactly. But that's true. I think in Russia for sure, in Moldova, in many countries, it's embarrassing. The guy, for example, if the girl pays, the guy will be really embarrassed. It's like he's not a real man if the woman has to pay. You know? Saska, I want to live in such a place. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So, for example, buying expensive software that nobody uses is simply throwing money down the drain. Without proper planning, the entire advertising budget could end up going down the drain. So, where does it come from? The image is easy to understand. Once something disappears down a drain, it is almost impossible to recover. Imagine you lose a ring or something down the drain. Like, how are you going to get that back? You know? So, money spent on something completely useless is viewed in exactly the same way. It has disappeared forever and nothing to show for it. Because the metaphor is so vivid, this is now one of the most common expressions for wasting money in modern English. Totally true. It's really, really common. It's a really, really useful one. Okay? All right. Next one. Hold the purse strings. Do you guys know what a purse is? Georgeson, you mentioned wallet already before. You're right. So this is like, originally, wallet was masculine. Okay, and the purse, like my mom always said purse, was, in fact, I think she still does, was feminine. But nowadays, like both use wallet. So wallet has become like the unisex term in nowadays. Un bolso, exactly, Andre, that's it, yeah. Exactly, Cassia. Yeah, wallet for women, guerrera, monedero, exactly. Women bag. It's like the small, they're cute. I don't have one here now, but they're like, they were cuter, you know. Maybe I can show you an image. Like, okay, well, this is that. No, this is a handbag. Like this one. Okay, I can't show it. This thing. 1 second. I wouldn't call that a purse. Like, let me see. Yeah, this thing is what I would have remembered like a purse being. If you can see this guy, like a cute little small thing. Anyway, oh, my one looks like this, but I would never call this a purse. I would call it a wallet. This thing, this black one with the gold. Okay, you can't see my cursor now, but wait, this one. This is like a typical purse. Exactly, Cassia. Like your grandma, exactly. So this is like a purse, okay? I use my phone. Actually, guys, but I don't think he's here. But yesterday, I paid through the nose and I got a new screen for my phone. And I got a new cover, look. I got a new cover finally. So this is the first money that I have put into my new cover. Because Meme was saying that my cover was in trouble the other day. Saska, I prefer to have a big bag instead of a purse. Yeah, totally. And then you put the purse and the wallet into the big bag. Mainly for coins, Cassia, yeah. For sure, like in the past. Yeah. Okay. So hold the purse strings, right? If someone holds the purse strings, they control how money is spent. They are the person with the financial authority to approve or reject expenditure. So like, I always think kind of with this expression, you know, puppets. You know this guy? Yeah, this guy here. These things are the strings, no? So we say it's the person. So you have here the purse, but you have somebody who's controlling how the money is spent, what you can spend money on, you know. Saska, your purse is your phone too, yeah? Puppet, exactly, Guerrero, yeah, puppet. I forget what it is in Spanish. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue now. I don't remember. What is it in Spanish? Marioneta. That's it, exactly. Yeah. Look, another controversial thing. I think sometimes if a girl, for example, doesn't pay her way, sometimes and the guy is always paying for everything, sometimes I wonder if he then is in charge of if he's holding the purse strings. So if he has more authority, I don't know. Dinero, Andre. Yeah, money. Andre, it refers to someone who is in control of his or her expenses. Of everybody's expenses, Andre. Everybody in the family. In the family or in government or whatever. Cassia, it's embarrassing, but she kept a purse under her blouse. Yeah? Really? Okay, so it's the person like in the family or in the unit who's in control of the money for everyone. So they decide like who gets to spend money. So imagine in a family, if the husband holds the purse strings, it means that the woman can't spend money unless she gets like permission from him, for example. So we're talking about an accountant. Well, not an accountant, because your accountant doesn't decide how you spend money. And in a business, maybe it would be the accountant, yeah. Andrea, I see. It's about the head of the family thing, kind of, Andrea, yeah. Bookkeeper, well, you see, I think it would be more the boss, no? Because the accountant is in a big company, the accountant is working for someone, right? Saska, I used to hold the purse strings, but time has changed and now I am about to splurge everything. Yes, for yourself. I'm about to splurge on everything. Well, if you hold the purse strings, you can still decide to splurge. The boss, like the father. I mean, it depends on the dynamic, Andre. It could be the father, it could be the mother, it could be the owner of the company. You know. Let me see. For example, although she's not the CEO, she holds the purse strings when it comes to the company's annual budget. So this woman is not the CEO, but she's the person who decides the company's annual budget. So she holds the purse strings. She's in charge of who can take money from the purse and who can't, and how much. Like account manager, yeah, George Sand, kind of, yeah. So the finance department holds the purse strings. So every major purchase must be approved by them. Parents often hold the purse strings until their children become financially independent. Yeah, it's true. I know a girl, when I was in university, she wanted to go skiing with her friends and she had some money saved, but her parents said she was not allowed to go. But her parents thought maybe she's going to go anyway. So they pay for her car and they pay for other things in her lifestyle. So they said, if you go skiing, we're taking the car. So she didn't go skiing. She couldn't go skiing. She decided not to go because she didn't want to lose her car. So in a way, they're controlling the financial situation with money. So the parents hold the purse strings. They can control how and when she spends her money. Okay. In my household, I hold a purse. However, the purse strings, however, my wife decides how we spend our money. So your wife holds the purse strings, Lama. You don't. Maybe you hold the purse, but she has the strings of the purse. So your wife holds the purse strings in the house, not you. Maybe you carry the purse, but she's holding the strings. The finance minister, yeah, finance minister George Sand, yeah. Well, yes. I was going to debate you and say sometimes it's not like that, but basically it should be like that, yes. The expression is also used metaphorically. Someone may hold the purse strings in a relationship, as I mentioned, an organization, or even a government, like George Sand is saying, like the finance minister. Look, exactly, like that. Where does it come from? The expression dates back to a time when money was literally carried in a small leather purse attached to a belt. The person physically holding the purse controlled who received money and how it was spent. Or Economy 1, the Minister for the Economy. Historically, this was often the head of the household, so the father, who was usually male, okay? Big changes there now. However, there is nothing inherently sexist about the expression itself. Today, it simply refers to whoever has financial control, regardless of gender. A woman, a committee, or an entire financial department can all hold the purse strings. Okay? Hope you got that one. Next one, break the bank. Now, somebody mentioned break the bank last week. You know the piggy banks? I don't know if you guys ever had a piggy bank. These ones. Mine never worked because I always took the money out. I took the money out the hole in his belly, you know. But these are the piggy banks. But usually there shouldn't be any hole. So finally you need to break it to get the money out. Like in childhood, yeah. Alcancías. Is it alcancías in Spanish? Okay. So to break the bank means to cost so much that it places a serious strain on your finances. That's a really good word. To break the bank means to cost so much that it places a serious strain on your finances. It is often used to reassure people that something is reasonably priced. So, for example, fortunately, replacing the tires didn't break the bank. You don't have to break the bank to eat well in this city. So nice. Strain. Andre, in Spanish, strain. That's a really good question, actually. You know what I'm going to do? Guys, let's look in the Cambridge Dictionary, because honestly, it's not a very easy word to explain. I've shown you before. This is my favorite dictionary anyway. So I'm going to put here strain. Level B2. Okay, so it is here. It says to force or influence. A force or influence that stretches or pulls or puts pressure on something, sometimes causing damage. For example, the hurricane put such a strain on the bridge that it collapsed. So it's something that you're pulling, and maybe it's going to snap. As you get older, excess weight puts a lot of strain on the heart. Yes. Their constant arguments were putting a strain on their marriage. The recent decline in the dollar has put a bigger strain on the economic system. Migration into cities is putting a strain on already stretched resources. Okay, Andre, do you got it? Like tension, exactly, Rera. In general, you will live 120 years old, so you should think about it. Siento tensión. Okay, tensión. Yeah, cool. Yeah, like strain, pressure, tension. Yeah. Their wedding looked luxurious, but they managed to organize it without breaking the bank. Tires, it's the black thing in your car, on the wheel of your car, the black rubber, Cassia. Oh, George Sands, you heard the news about Ceuta. Yeah, that was complicated. Gerrit, I wanted to ask you actually about Sanchez and Ceuta. Okay, something puts so much pressure or tension that can become the last straw. Exactly, it can be the last straw. Yeah. Okay, Cassia, cool. Tires, yeah. Where does it come from? The expression originally came from gambling. In casinos, the bank is the money held by the casino to pay winners. If a gambler won so much that the casino temporarily ran out of money to pay, they had literally broken the bank. It's pretty cool. Over time, the expression entered everyday English. Today, it no longer refers to casinos. Instead, it simply means spending an amount of money that would seriously damage your finances. Okay? Yeah. So spending any type of money that could put you in a vulnerable financial situation. Okay? Awesome, Andre. Cool. All right. Let's do one more, because then I have to go to running training. I prepared everything before the live, so I just have to grab my stuff and go. But after the running training today, it's my trainer's birthday. Well, it was her birthday on Friday. But today we are, after running, they're going for ice cream cake, which I won't eat because it has lactose. But I will go to say happy birthday. So, last one for today, to splash out. So you know when you're in the swimming pool or in the sea and you do like this to your friend and you send like a wave of water at them. Don't you hate when the water's cold and you're slowly making your way into the water and then your friend splashes you? Ah, my God. Yeah, don't splash me. It's very annoying. So to splash out means that you do like this with a lot of money, like a big splash of money outwards away from you. And you don't really think sometimes. about the consequences or the amount or if it's a good investment or whatever. So to splash out means to spend a large amount of money on something enjoyable or luxurious, usually as a special treat. You guys said that already now, didn't you? Today. Splash me tenderly. Sometimes it happens with me too, yeah. For example, after receiving her promotion, she decided to splash out on a holiday to Japan. That's so nice. We don't usually eat in Michelin-starred restaurants, but we decided to splash out for our anniversary. So nice. He's been saving for months so he can splash out on a new mountain bike. Unlike throw money down the drain, splash out does not suggest that the money has been wasted. Yeah, so this is a very important distinction between the two. It simply means spending generously on something you genuinely want. So I think that's important. That's a pretty big difference there now. Unlike throw money down the drain, splash out doesn't suggest that you're being careless or irresponsible. It's worth it, Irina. Exactly. It's worth it. You know? So that's why we do it. Okay. Awesome. So guys, 7:30 now. I'll have to love you and leave you because I like to be punctual. I don't want to turn up late. Okay? But I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do from to foot the bill. Okay? So I hope you have a lovely evening. And I'm going to go and enjoy training, I don't know. Maybe not enjoy the training, but I'm going to then enjoy saying happy birthday to my trainer. Okay? Thanks for joining, guys. I hope you have thank you for the rose, Cassia. Thanks, Cassia. Okay.